Hello there, I'm the John, and welcome to a new video. So Season 2 is coming to an end. There has been back and forth between the community and Arada. I talked a lot about that, mainly in live. I didn't do a video because a lot of people everyone is talking about this, and well, my opinion is quite clear. I was on a podcast for 9 hours, and go and watch that on Mike's channel, is actually very good. But today we are back with something that, well, it actually kind of made me gain few subscribers when I came out, and it was my first successful videos. And we talk rank distribution. So there are some data about what they're gonna be, basically the final rank distribution number in Tekken 8, and well, let's go to watch it together. Before I start, this to me feels like the beginning of a first cycle for the channel for real, because this really brings me back to what was probably the real video I can consider successful for the first time on my channel. And while a lot of you have subscribed already, there are still a lot that are not subscribed yet. So really humbly, please, if you like my stuff, if you want to watch Tekken and other video game stock content, please consider press the subscribe button. It helps a lot, and it really helps me to keep on posting and pushing for this stuff on my channel. Let's open these data. So all credit to all base, which round up all these data. These data are based a bit on a different way than the one I used previously, so they cannot directly compare. They're gonna give you an idea on how the ranks are distributed in Tekken 8. I already had a brief look myself, and there is a lot. I'm gonna read the link in the description, but there is a lot of pages you can see. You can see all individual characters, all the individual ranks, Bushin to Tekken to God of Destruction, which characters are in. We can go and look into one, and basically you can see from Bushin to God of Destruction what's the distribution in characters in the ranks. So what percentage every character represents the rank. Let's say in Tekken God, 2.3% are Alisa, 2.4 Asuka, or what else, 4.9 are Jin, 4.5 are Brian. So yeah, you can get an idea. It doesn't tell you directly how strong is a character, but it gives an idea of what is more popular in which rank and what you're gonna fight in which rank. You can see at the end of the day, there is some discrepancy. There are like four characters above 4%, but everyone else is between 2 to 3%, which is good, with a couple of them below 2%. And usually this makes it for a kind of balanced experience at the end of the day. Even if you take the spread of the lowest and the highest, you're still gonna be between more than 2% different, which is probably the one that they want to reduce. But at the end of the day, people pick a character because it's stronger, people pick a character because it's more appealing, and the combination of the two usually gives you what is the popularity of the rank of the character. Other data that we can see as well is most popular characters. I find this very interesting. Now you can see here all the placements. It's like a chart, whichever characters in whichever season they were, as Jin was basically always up there, apart on beginning when he was 6 in season 1, and after on release, and on DLC 1 he got second, and then he was always second until on DLC 4 he became the most popular character, with Dragunov stepping down one position. Brian was 11th and then became third, and he was always the third popular character. I praise myself to be already on the guys that was playing Brian since the beginning, before people discovered that he was actually cheap in this game. But don't just think that Brian is cheap. Every character can be played cheap in this game. Heihachi, super popular, most popular DLC character by far. He came in 4th most played character, and he always stayed there. Then you have Kazuya, King, and Clive as well, comes in 7th place, actually in top 10 most used character. Very important, especially above names like Feng, Steve, Warren, Devil Jin, Lee, which are heavy hitters. And most popular female character is actually Reina. I would say rightfully so. She is a good character, she's a great design, she as well plays very well. I'm honestly a bit scared of what she's gonna be in Season 2, but in my opinion she is the best female character there is in Tekken 8 at the moment. She's a great character, it's probably the best design that we've seen in Tekken 8 so far for female characters, by far. Paul, Lily, Victor, Law, and Yoshi, all are Michelanos here, but if you go Now where it gets more interesting is gonna be on the, let's say, bottom 5, where you have obviously Panda, last spot. You actually start on 33rd position, and basically every single DLC release he lost a position because every DLC went above them. Same thing went above him. Same thing for Leroy, same thing for Xiaoyu. They actually became super, she lost a lot of popularity after the DLC 1, and she stayed there basically until the end. And Raven and Leo be the most unpopular character. And yeah, that was just this, something very interesting that you can watch for yourself. It is very good to have this kind of data available. Now, talking about the ranks, for how interpreting this data, basically, that you can see here, let me zoom in a bit. Oh wow, it doesn't zoom in, great. Okay, I can do it here. For how I'm reading it to this table over here, what I can see is basically in his first assessment, basically 100% of the player base was in Vanquisher. So for what I can interpret it here is that this starts taking consideration only the active players, and basically only a chunk of the active players, and basically the all data you took that basically got taken are from Vanquisher and above. It doesn't get in consideration Vanquisher and below, and probably because the source of data, the amount of people in there becomes too wide, I'm expecting. I'm honestly not sure, but you can see how at the end, let's go where it really matters, which one is the most populated rank. You can see it here on the right, and that is Fujin. In blue, the bottom line, you can see what was it during DLC 1, and then orange is DLC 2, yellow DLC 3, and green is actually DLC 4, which is now. Fujin, I said it in the past, from this rank system, how it works and how it's structured, it's gonna be the most populated rank. All the people, it gets pushed into Fujin, basically, since the beginning of the ranking system, and you can see how this basically stays steadily, even if it decreased a bit from DLC 2, is still by far the most populated rank. What basically happened is that a lot of these people, a lot of these players made it to Tekken King, and some of them started to bounce back between basically the blue ranks, and you can see this in this number that Raijin, Kishin, Bushin, and Tekken King, they are always increasing in how do you say, in chunks, in amounts of players. As well, there is the same proportional amount of players in the what are considered the basically the gold ranks, Emperor, Tekken Gold, Tekken Gold Supreme, and God of Destruction, with a big inflation into this game, into these ranks, which can be very much seen into this graph over here. Now here you can see the cumulative ranks and how they're distributed. Now you can really see that for the same amount of subject that you got, well, there is a shift into the balance of the ranks and popularity. You can see as well that what used to be the first rank to be basically Tekken Elite, which is Tekken King, now it is no more, it's just like above average, or high average, I would actually describe. Tekken Emperor I still consider, like, which is basically close to the top 10%, is where basically, if you can steadily be in Tekken Emperor, usually is where you will start to play like higher level Tekken, and it really feels like this. For the blue ranks, unfortunately, there is a double-edged sword, is a surplus of population, because you have people that is actually try to make for the first time their way of Tekken King, and they didn't make it in season 1. Maybe they're gonna make it in the last 2 days, good luck to them. Or there is people that made Tekken King and then started to shift in rank 2.0, and these ranks are considered in the same way, obviously in this chart, and now you basically can see how this basically transforms. Tekken King being so populated as well, in my opinion, gets explained by the fact that a lot of people, once you reach Tekken King, is kind of a target rank that once you reach, you either start to play another character, you stop to play rank for a while, or you just stop to play rank now, especially now that you're towards the end of the season, and you can just be basically considered like retiring for a while for a rank from the rank, especially because a lot of people, once they reach a rank, they don't want to, are afraid to lose their rank because they feel like they cannot get it back, which is a very wrong mentality, because a rank that you achieve once can always be taken back, and that's how you should approach ranks. If we go as well on the top rank, you can see how Tekken got incredibly increased, and basically it still overlaps a bit with the Tekken God in DLC 3, but already, see, if you were Tekken God in DLC 2, basically you are God of Destruction to Supreme level right now. If you are Tekken, and if you were Tekken God Supreme in DLC 2 and DLC 3 as well, you're basically our God of Destruction, like right now, level. And this is as well because of the kind of system that there is. It really, well, first, obviously, we need to say cheating is a problem. I would not say that big percentage of them are cheaters, but obviously there is a bit of influence into that in this data, and as well pluggers before the update, and as well one and done is a big important factor to be put into consideration, because if you consistently been doing one and done in this game, you can basically get advantage of it and get, at least I would say, a +1 into the ranks. You will manage to get it. Basically be able to cherry pick your opponents and which one you just challenge once and which one you see you can beat and you keep on and you rematch you for one more time is actually an advantage if you take it. I really much hate the system, the fact that you can get your chance of one and done, and I really hope eventually they're gonna address it and they're gonna change it, because it really makes it for something that cannot be considered competitive on the most level. So everyone that says that blue ranks now, like, oh, blue ranks is not like in the past. Yeah, no, blue ranks, obviously, looking at this number, blue ranks now is not what blue ranks used to be in Tekken 7, which was not already what blue ranks used to be in Tekken 7 Season 1. Blue ranks in Tekken 7 Season 1 probably would put you up here. That's a monstrous. You were a Fujin back at the time, but the system was way more aggressive. Like, the value that a rank has, it obviously needs to be projected towards what actually the system, how the system works and functions. So obviously being a Fuji now, being a blue rank now, it puts you in dead on in the average level of play, which is something I would consider between 40 and 80%. That's the average, that's like the middle level of play. And even if there is a massive difference between these two levels, of course, because if you go to break down how the ranking system works, is ranked 2.0 player and rank 1.0 players, they are completely different breeds, completely. Especially if the people that use rank 2.0 makes their way back to Fujin and Tekken King, which is usually the second big mountain to climb. The first one is making to Tekken King the first time, and the second time is making it to Tekken King and start to get over it. Because Tekken, once you get back in rank 2.0 to Tekken King, getting over that to Tekken Emperor and then Tekken God is usually a very difficult task. It is a very difficult task, it is for me as well, where I made it back to Tekken God a couple of times now, and I may want to try to get to Supreme before the end of the season, but I don't know if I will have the time, honestly. I cannot be bothered at the moment. But basically that's it for this data, and let me just see if there is something interesting. And now for the last thing, let's look at the cumulative things. Let me just... So these are the cumulative data. They are very tiny. I tried to zoom in, but they are on this weird post image website that doesn't allow me to zoom in more than this. So that's how we're gonna see. And basically it just gives a cumulative division of the data, which tells you in basically which percentage of players are you if you're a specific rank. So let's say that you are into Fujin, so if you are into Fujin, you are in the top 66% of the player, which means you are above 34% of the players, which you can see how much this obviously makes it up for a difference. Now these numbers are not absolute because they don't count for all people, that is because it doesn't count obviously for the whole amount of people. That's why I really want to get to know and to know how many people are taking, how many players have been taken as subject for this study. But basically I think it takes in consideration the currently active players, the current active player base of the game. So being Fujin puts in top 66%, and it regularly jumps down, which is usually is kind of good. What is probably the biggest problem here is how the highest rank, basically, they are not as punitive as they should be, in my opinion, especially from Tekken King above. Tekken King, you are in the top 23% of the player base, which is usually, it makes you in the top quarter of the players. You are, which someone would say that's high level, but for me, for what you consider high level is usually, I would say, Tekken Emperor, because it's where it really makes it one step ahead to what is the second mountain. So getting to Tekken King, you get to Tekken rank 2.0, getting above Tekken King means that you passed the barrier of rank 2.0 and you are not in the blue hell ranks basically. So Tekken Emperor is where probably the level steps up for real, and it really feels like this. And Tekken Emperor, Tekken God, it feels like they're very similar ranks until a certain level. And you don't feel that much of a difference. There is a lot of people grinding a lot, and for how volatile is the system now, it's very easy to see someone that is Tekken God today going back to Tekken King and make it back to Tekken God the day after, and same thing with Tekken God Supreme. But usually the steps that you get in these ranks, the divisions that you get in these ranks are very neat. Like someone that is steady in Tekken God, even if he falls down, is gonna make it back all the time. Someone that is steady in Tekken God Supreme is gonna be there all the time. And if you make it to God of Destruction at the end of the day, for how you structure the system, if you have a very good day, you're gonna get that much reservoir of points that you will never get demoted. And yeah, that's probably another negative of this system. This said, system is gonna change. I'm gonna make a video about it after it comes out. I'm gonna play a bit. I'm gonna do my ranked system 2.0 explained. Finally, I'm very curious to see. A lot of changes. Prowess matchmaking goes into the toilet, and I'm very happy about that. And add extra rank after God of Destruction. They are not really ranks, but they are like ultra hard things, and I'm really curious to see how the top player gonna fight against that. I cannot definitely compete to get into the highest rank, but in Season 2 I will probably, if the game is still enjoyable, and is going to be more enjoyable especially, I'm probably gonna try to get God of Destruction at the end of the day, as I'm not as far anymore. It really feels like I just need to lock in for a couple of sessions, learn a couple of matchups a bit better, and I should be able to finally get the highest rank, which would be, well, obviously quite the achievement. But apart from that, if you liked, please consider subscribing. As I said, it helps a lot to the channel to grow. And for Season 2, obviously, I'm gonna bring a lot more stuff, a lot more Brian, and a lot more podcasts in my live. You've seen my lives, they are picking up quite a bit. Usually on Saturday, I'm always live. I'll try to take it like this. Sometimes on Tuesday as well, but I'll try to get a bit more of, I always say that I'm gonna get a more fixed schedules. Eventually, I promise I'm gonna do it, guys. But apart from that, I've been the John, you be awesome, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!